You suck at playing the United States, and that's okay, because I'm here to show you how to fix that.
Yeah, we should try not stinking at it.
There we go. Land of the free, home of the brave. What do we have to work with? Obviously, we've got Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the man who just could not stop being president until he just stopped being alive. London Naval Treaty irrelevant. Monroe Doctrine irrelevant for basic historical gameplay. And then the Great Depression. Yeah, they do call it the Great Depression. Some people call it the biggest economic disaster ever. And folks, they're not wrong. I've talked to some very smart people, the best economists, historians, and even some big strong men, tough guys, real tough. Tears in their eyes, they say, sir, we've never seen anything like it. It was a huge, total disaster. Maybe the greatest depression we've ever had, maybe ever. And believe me, we've had some depressions, but this one is dork. Just tremendous, tremendously bad. It's truly Biden's economy. And then home of the free. Most of this really doesn't matter. The USA is a bit of an older country in terms of its lifespan within Hearts of Iron 4, and its focus tree really shows. Nothing fancy here. These are all 70-day focuses, and we start with continuing the New Deal in a minute, because we also have decisions. And the United States of America has Congress. And much like in real life, within the game, Congress exists to annoy you and to cost you. So we're gonna turn all of these off and just gonna do small lobbying effort pretty much throughout the first half of the game, because we need to get Senate and House support up to certain levels, and we're just going to keep spamming this. It's the most cost-effective way of getting that up. Next up, we're going to start by continuing the New Deal. Don't worry too much about focuses. I'll leave the focus order down in the description below, and we'll get that done. As for research, we're going to start with the basics of industry, and then I like to follow up with some range improvements for air. Commanders, it's here, my official merch, and it's a masterpiece. Introducing the Type 7 submarine desk mat, brought to life by the artist Disc and the team at Epic Desk. Now, this is not just a desk pad, it is a blueprint of history stretched across your entire setup. Look at it, the full technical layout of a German Type 7 U-boat, rendered in striking blueprint detail, my favorite blue, but you may also select black, torpedo specs, pressure hull dimensions, even the deck gun, every detail is here. You've got armor labeled bitter steel, a nod to the community, and that bold B logo, that's how you know it's ours. Now, crafted on Epic Desk's premium 4mm pad with a silky smooth surface non-slip base, this mat is built for precision, whether you're diving into combat or just crunching through your spreadsheets. This is more than just a desk mat, it's my merch. It's your mission-ready battle station, and it's a limited run. Once these submerge, they will be gone forever. My gear at your command. What are you waiting for? Construction, I like to lead with an aerodynamics facility in Hawaii. You don't have to build it in Hawaii, you can build it wherever I want, but this is where my radar spawns, and it's pretty funny that it can spawn on Hawaii then. And then we're gonna do a land warfare facility on somewhere in New Jersey. I'll put it in Jersey. And then we're going to do infrastructure in pretty much all of our resource producing states. We're going to prioritize the ones with big numbers already, so we can make that number bigger. Places like Texas, like California, we are going to be swimming in resources by doing this. So the reason we're doing in this infrastructure first is mostly this. Undisturbed isolation is really, really terrible. It eats up a lot of our factories, and it makes it very expensive to build anything else, like a dockyard, like a civ, like a mill, just incredibly expensive, but it does not impact the facilities or the infrastructure. So we can build the infrastructure first and then use that increased building speed that each one of these gives to then springboard and snowball from there once we do shift into military production. Military production, we'll leave everything as is for now. We are going to be adding one on trains, one on trucks. We're gonna also add one on carrier naval bombers and one on carrier fighters. Don't worry about them too much. I know they're terrible. That's fine. And then one more on towed anti-air. As for the Navy, first start by putting every single one of these on a single dockyard each, and then scroll all the way down. You're gonna start by shift clicking all of the small ships to the top. So everything, destroyer, submarine, light cruiser, whatever, everything that's not a capital ship, move it all the way to the top, and then go up there and start adding maximum amount of factories, well, dockyards, to each and every one of these. It's going to start a cascading effect where more and more and more dockyards become available as these finish up. Then add dockyards to your remaining capital ship. Move the Wichita class to the bottom. It's not that important, and we'll end up with something like this. It'll be fine. Then we are going to take the army, such as it is. We're going to keep one division, Big Red 1, and delete everything else, and we'll put Big Red 1 in Washington, make a statement to those clowns on the hill, and permanently exercise this division. Then we are going to take our Air Force. We're going to take every single one of our planes and delete them. They're not required just yet. And we're going to take every single one of our boats. We're going to take all of the surface ships and put them into a single fleet. I usually put them in the Battleship Battle Force. Love that name. Permanent exercises with automatic split off on, and we'll do the same with our submarines. We'll move all the submarines into the same fleet and permanent exercising with split off. Just make sure that you have no subs in your main surface fleet, because subs slow the whole thing down. It's really not worth it. Facilities, hire whoever you want. I usually get McKee for the naval engineering facility so I can get the cruiser subs. Trade, you could just ignore this. I like to trade with UK for a little bit of boosting them. Then with all that done, we're going to the international market, sell equipment, add equipment to market, and we're gonna add pretty much everything we just found to it. Again, this only works if you have arms against tyranny. If you don't, completely ignore this because it's not that important. It's just nice to have. Also nice to have, market options, auto accept, otherwise you'll go insane. And we're gonna spam small lobbying efforts and you're gonna sit here, twiddle our thumbs for a bit. Look at that Navy experience coming in, and our fuel's still going up. America, baby, America. Yeah, we get like 35 naval experience, and we're gonna get the Spirit of the Navy, Naval Reform. This is gonna give us 15% increased Navy experience. Now, there are two trains of thought here, well, three, but I'll highlight them. One, naval reform. Get this first and foremost, and it will compound by giving you even more naval experience as the game progresses, until you switch out, obviously. Two is get the naval refit yards, so your ships repair more quickly and get back to generating XP more quickly, and you can refit your ships much more quickly, and we will be refitting a lot of ships. So, considering you already get so much experience, you don't really need the 15% boost you get from this. Or, and I like this one, you lead with naval reform, and then when you do start to refit your ships, then you switch to naval refit yards. It's a little more expensive, I think. I think we'll make up the cost that this incurs by the time we switch to naval refit yards. Let's also go to... where's that big airfield? Right, airbase in New York, and we'll just deploy our fighters there. A single fighter wing, permanently exercise it during the day, and as this one fills up, we'll add more and more and more, and that way at least we'll also get experienced fighters. Reason we train during the day is because these are all rookie pilots. Rookie pilots crash a lot. They crash a little less during the day. Army experience is also slowly coming in. It's really slow, 0.004 per day. But by the end of 36, this is up to like 0.12 per day and actually will matter. You could simply retain the entire military and exercise all of them, but I find that needlessly wasteful because you'll be burning a lot of equipment. This way, you won't be burning that much equipment and you'll still be getting a nice chunk of army experience. All right, New Deal continued, onwards. That also gives us 150 political power. We're going to spend that on a political advisor. I like to lead with Robert Taft, silent workhorse for more political power gain. We're not gaining a whole lot of political power this way. Electronical engineering done. Let's get mechanical computing. Every now and then, a pop-up like this is going to come along. A senator from a state is going to offer you their support for a little something in exchange. Top options are going to tell you what they want. In this case, Kentucky wants a military factory, and in exchange, you get support in the House and the Senate. Bottom option just declines it. I usually just always pretty much accept it and just build what they want. Time for the Agricultural Adjustment Act. And we'll now hire Henry Morgenthau, junior financial expert. The economy is already looking a little spicier. Honestly, America has so many factories, you never have to build another Civ again if you don't want to. Let's go and grab radio as well. It's going to be important to our tank designs. It's just really good tech overall. Special projects for the Navy. Usually lead with cruiser subs. Torpedo cruisers are also really nice, and if you really want to meme it up, the Montana class battleships, 5 of which were commissioned but never, well, ordered but never laid down. Magnificent beasts of the sea that were ultimately irrelevant. Speaking of the Navy, we're going to go into our battleship main fleet and we're going to look for the Pennsylvania. The USS Pennsylvania is the ship leading class of the Pennsylvania class. And we're going to make some changes. We're going to add the MIO, Brooklyn Naval Yard, and we're going to replace all of its secondaries by the best dual-purpose secondaries, and we're going to replace all of its AA guns by the best AA guns we have available. And we're also going to replace the catapult with the best dual-purpose we have. This is going to cost us a little bit of Navy experience. There we go. And now we are going to select the Pennsylvania class, refit them, select all of them, refit them using the Brooklyn Naval Yard. It will take 98 days per battleship, and we are going to be refitting 9 of our battleships into this new and improved AA platform. Let's just move them to the top so that once things get built, new factories go on to the battleships. And now the annoying thing about the American focus tree, other than its focuses are really long and lackluster. We want to get to the Fair Labor Standards Act. That takes 230 days of waiting. Now, I am not great at math, but I do know that 1. Each and every one of these focuses is 70 days, and 2, I cannot divide 230 by 70 and get a nice round number. No. 3 focuses is 210 days. That means I'm going to waste 10 days somewhere doing nothing, because I can save 10 days in this bar, and I'm gonna lose 10 days because I have to continue. Alternatively, I can lose 50 days of having slow economic growth and instead have the slow recovery national spirit for 50 more days. It depends on what you want. Do you want to lose a total of 10 days of focus time, or do you want to lose 50 days of having a functional economy? I'll lose the 10 days, so what I'm going to do is now do the Scientific Research and Development Office, Neutrality Act, and Arsenal of Democracy, so these 3, and then we'll wait 20 days to get the Fair Labor Standards Act. If that's not your cup of tea, you can do those 3, and then follow up quickly with Scientist Haven, and then do Fair Labor Standards Act. I got my intra-war artillery. Let's get improved machine tools, get that industry pumping. Time for some construction, and we'll get radar in our air facility. The election of 36, we are going to go with the Democrats for more years. Why would you get Standard Oil if you get Alpha Landon? Well then, no. The New Deal is going to give us more stability and increased infrastructure construction speed, which is helpful. It's what we're going for. The Democrats for more years. Overall, this is the historical path. Anyway, now, once you've had that election, House and Senate support usually collapse, so you're gonna have to work your way back up there. You could speed things along if this is really bad by paying farm subsidies. It's gonna hurt your economy, but it does help to really quickly get support back. Time to grab that artillery piece. Now, this is way ahead of time, even with the designer, so this is gonna take us 343 days. It doesn't really matter that it takes so long. Yes, that is almost a year spent on that research slot, but we get so many research slots that it doesn't matter, and it will allow us to start making the preferred medium tanks early, so we have a respectable number of them by the time the war starts, and we can commit our armor to the fight. Speaking of committing our armor to the fight, let's get basic mediums research as well. A couple of options here. Chrysler usually is the better option. The soft attack reliability are really good. 15% defense loss is but Chrysler is your better option here, I think. Time for the Arsenal of Democracy. Now, we have a lot of political power. We're going to spend a little bit of it by by giving refuge to German and Italian scientists. It is going to increase our research speed dramatically at the cost of 10 stability, and we're still going to be at 94% stability. Now, we're swimming in Navy experience. We're going to quickly spend it on the Marines. So we're going to go all the way to the bottom. Just a little bit of Navy XP short, but we're going to go all the way to the bottom, picking the right side both times. And now we're going to wait 20 days until we can do the Fair Labor Standards Act, because the math sucks. Besides, we need support from the representatives of the House and Senate. So keep doing the lobbying efforts. 20 days. Hopefully we can get them in, get them to support us. We're going to also take our P-35As, our basic small airframes, and we're going to adjust this a little bit. It's not going to be wonderful. These are basic airframes, but it'll be a little bit better. So the armaments will replace by quad light machine guns. The engine can stay. The modules down here will get extra fuel tanks along with the light MG defense turret. and we'll add the North American Aviation to it. It's a competent-ish fighter for the early game. And now that more and more dockyards are becoming available, we're going to add a few more things to the mix. We are going to our carriers, and we're going to upgrade this. We're going to add more hangar space, so this has 4 hangars. We'll replace the secondary with the dual-purpose secondary. We'll upgrade the AA to the best one, and we'll give it the Newport News shipbuilding. Save that, and we're going to add 3 more carriers. I love carriers. This is going to give us a total of 4 carriers. As far as construction is concerned, we're going to start finishing up most of the construction here, and once we run all the way down here, we're going to start doing military construction in basically all of the 100% infrastructure states we have built up so far. Yeah, there we go. Fair Labor Standards Act coming on. Let's also produce or research military engineering vehicles. These are pretty neat. We have a bunch of army experience. We're going to spend that by getting Spirit of the Army Relief of Command. Should have done this the moment we hit 30, but I think we got a bunch from the last focus. So Relief of Command gives us another 25% army experience gain, so we get more from all sources, plus army advisors are cheaper. Now, apart from just the carriers, they're also going to build a couple of other things. First up, destroyers. 1936 destroyer. They'll slap the cheapest dual-purpose battery in there, the cheapest torpedo launcher, and we'll give it to the Norfolk Naval Yard. Could add a fire control. Don't really have to, but might as well. These are going to be our roaches. If you really want to truly roach it, again, don't get the fire control, but these are going to go into our main fleet. These are going to be our screens. Their purpose is to die gloriously so our battleships and aircraft carriers can get the kills. Then we're going to design a different variant. Again, cheapest dual purpose battery, same designer. We're going to add sonar to these, and the top 2 slots here are going to have depth charges. We're going to change this icon to something else, a skull maybe, and we'll use these to specifically hunt enemy, well, submarines. These are going to be our submarine hunters. Very helpful if you're trying to fight Germany and Japan. And then lastly, light cruisers. We're going to design a new one here as well. The cheapest rapid fire dual purpose gun you can find. And we're going to fill this top here with aircraft catapults. We're going to fill this bottom here with sonar. And this thing is going to have radar in it as soon as we research it. And we can also add, honestly, we can add an ASW depth charge to it, because sometimes you just want to kill those submarines. And these are going to be our spotting cruisers. They have good surface detection, decent sub detection. They'll work to find the enemy fleets, so our glorious navy can come in and kill them. And we'll build about 10 of these. Don't need too many. Let's grab Maintenance Company 1s. Those will be helpful when we get Maintenance Company 2. We can get easy maintenance into our tanks. Next up, Scientist Haven. Let's get Logistic Companies as well. Yay, Senator votes for government proposal. Huzzah! We've also discovered how radar works, so we'll implement that into the design for the spotting cruiser. All right, Japan has done the thing. Let's send improved relations to China. And then wait until we get 100 political power. Scientist Haven is in. Let us go and grab the War Department. Having finished that research, let's move on to the infantry. Let's improve the infantry equipment. We are really slowed down by improving relations, so this should be more than enough. We'll stop improving relations with China. And once we have 100, we will be able to send them an attaché. The federal state of Austria bridged the Treaty of Saint-Germain-en-Laye. I don't think it mattered. Let's just embargo the Austrians. And let's get the other infantry tech as well. There we go. Now, the Senate loves me. The House, slightly. And there we go. Enough to send an attaché to China. It's going to be wonders for our war support, along with world tension going up. This will get us right where we need to be to get to, where are we here? The giant wakes. So the next one is going to be the Federal Housing Act. But again, this is locked behind 230 days of waiting, which is still going to be a while. So best options are in the area of the War Department. After the War Department, we can do one more focus and then do some more waiting. So the options are either the Selective Training Act, which can give you some base base war support, but I think I must have messed this up somehow. I think something locks me out. Is this supposed to set your base war support to 10? Right now it's set to 5. I think it has to do with the attaché I just sent. If you know, let me know down in the comments below, because sometimes I get confused as well. Or we go with the 2 Ocean Navy Act, which is pretty nice for another 10 dockyards. But again, a lot of people go into the opposition. Both of these are slightly risky. I think Selective Training Act is the way to go. Unlock more of that military potential, because we're going to have to build up a large military relatively quickly. Now we have experience coming in from China. All right, basic mediums and artillery is done, so we can now design our glorious tank. Let's see what Chrysler has cooking for us. This is usually what I run with, or some variation of this. The 3-man turret, obviously, and again, I stress this is for single player, because otherwise that howitzer is not going to do anything worthwhile. But in single player, soft attack is all you need, and that is what this design really focuses on. And oh my god, that model. Never mind, I have a better model. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Oh, yes. Yes, I think I found the model I'm going to use today. Yes. Yes. And with the research slots now freed up, let's pick up improved computing machine. We have a lot of research bonuses. Want to compound on that. Want to get speed. Want to research really quickly. And one thing I also want to pick up, I know it's ahead of time, but I think it's going to be worth it, is Maintenance Company 2. 300 days. Again, we have so many slots, it doesn't matter if one of them gets taken up for a while. That is going to give us easy maintenance for our tanks, and we'll be able to make more tanks. All right, Selective Training Act. Let's get the Chief of the Army, Dwight D. Eisenhower, so we can get more Army experience in. And then the next pick is either going to be partial mobilization, or we're going to grab Henry Stimson, depending on how the Giant Wicks. Ooh, hold on. So considering world tension is where it is now, there are 2 options. We continue as planned and simply go for the Federal Housing Act and then waste 10 days of focus. Or we get the Giant Wicks now, which gets us off the terrible economy law, and then move to the Federal Housing Act. We're stuck with slow economic growth for another 50 days. I think we can stomach 50 more days of this if it means we can get the Giant Wicks now, because this unlocks civilian economy. While that in itself is pretty terrible, it is way better than undisturbed isolation. So we're gonna go with the Giant Wicks first. And whenever Manchukuo protests, tell them to kick rocks. Next up, we're gonna save all of our political power so we can get another economy law. Right, we got the Giant Wicks. We're now on civilian economy. Doesn't look like much, but it is impactful. It is most certainly impactful. Another 2 rows of factories unlocked. Construction speed 20 or 30% higher, 20% higher. All is well with the world. And now the Federal Housing Act is going to get rid of the Great Depression, and we will be glorious. And once we've done the Federal Housing Act, for the most part, we don't need to worry about Congress anymore, which is great because Congress can really annoy people. At this point, I'm going to stop doing lobbying efforts. I need the political power more than I need Congress's support. They're pretty much only required now for the 2 Ocean Navy Act, and I believe I have all the support I need for that. We are sitting on 500 Navy experience as well. My bad. First thing, the Bureau of Ordnance, we're going to replace that with inclement weather experience. This removes or really reduces the bad weather penalty, which is crippling to your aircraft carriers. Efficient communications is also really good because positioning is quite important, but for carrier-based fleets, I would go with inclement weather, and then spirit is instilled aggression. More attack is always more good, and then just fill out the base strike doctrine as you go. Right branch first, then left branch, and then center, because we're not going to have that many subs. And while the unit's training is nice, we're not going to need them for all that much longer. We're going to quickly design a couple of divisions and then start recruiting so we can get stuck in next year. The infantry is fine, though I am going to add support anti-air to this, leading us with this unit. We'll rename them after channel members. The Marines, 30 width Marines are probably fine. Something like this, 30 width. Not too much artillery, so we can still make landfall nicely. Should give us a nice amount of attack on... Yeah, it's slightly over 50%. So it should negate the amphibious penalty. Has decent soft attack. It's not too unwieldy. And we'll include support artillery. We will include pioneers as well as support anti-air. Don't need too much else. Recon might be helpful for extra soft attack, but it's not really required. Might as well add it. There we go. We'll train up a couple of those in a bit. Experience is coming in. I'm going to stop the exercises as well, and we're going to start training an actual army. And as soon as we can, we're also going up to partial mobilization, really unlock America's potential for doing great harm to the world. And I'm going to force deploy these so I can get as many bodies out there as quickly as possible. And then the units that get force deployed will simply train until they're train, so we'll shift-click exercises, and every one of these divisions will be named after one of our glorious channel members. These are the people that allow me to do what I do. I love you guys. Your support means the world to me, and if you want to support the channel, feel free to check out a Bitter Steel membership, and maybe you too can die gloriously for my benefit. That is the Federal Housing Act done. We are officially out of the Great Depression. Huzzah! Huzzah! Time for the wartime industry to kick in, baby. General Motors gets unlocked, that's fine. But we also get 5% factory output, I believe, which is also fine. Officer Corps, Spirit of the Air Force Industry Liaisons, speeds up air research a bit, and we'll also get centralized control. And 150 political power, partial mobilization, behold! America the Beautiful. Oh, we're gonna do it now, boys. We are gonna kick this into overdrive. 2.5 million men awaiting guns, and we will bring freedom to the world and oil to ourselves. It's still a little bit ahead of time, but we'll grab our advanced machine tools. A higher efficiency cap is gonna lend itself nicely to our economic boom. Got the wartime industry. Let's get the air war plans division now. Cut costs on fighters. The USS Panay sunk in China. Terrible. So we'll demand compensation. It's free war support. Always take that. Japan's always going to agree. Top option just isn't that great. Reduction in war support for stability. You have plenty of stability. Political power might be nice, but just demand compensation. You're going to be better off with that. So now we're going to get General Motors in. More industrial research speed and 5% extra output. My Air War Plans divisions is in. Cheaper production. Let's grab the Louisiana Maneuvers for army experience and a cheaper land doctrine. We're gonna need it. As for the army, let's start organizing this in a way that makes a slight bit of sense. Somewhere along the eastern seaboard. We're not gonna worry about Japan. We'll have won the war by the time Japan becomes relevant. 150 political power. Let's get Henry Stimson. That's basically it. Our next pick is gonna be Omar Bradley for superior firepower. Could go mobile warfare, but Patton's an ass. Air support next, so I can make that cast a little bit more cheaply. I can invent the helicopter. Not required by any stretch of the imagination, but it's pretty neat. There we go. Survivability studies. Focuses are mostly done. It is February 39, so war is drawing closer, so might as well head towards War Plan Black to give us that edge against the Germans. March 39. All right, we've got our flame tanks. I'm going to quickly design a copy of the M3 Lee. We're going to simply tag it as a flame tank. We'll keep everything as is. I'll just swap in a flamethrower for the artillery piece, for the howitzer, and mark it Flame Support Company. It is virtually identical. There could be more changes to make, but I'm not going to do that. I love that. I love the way that looks. I'm going to see if I can find a different model, an even goofier model for it. Yes! Yes, that's the one. Italy joins Germany. So we're getting real close now. We're getting real close. We're going to try to go in as quickly as possible. As far as research is concerned, at this point, basically do what you want. You're set up for wins. I'll keep saying what I'm doing, but by all means, diverge if you want to. I'm going to keep the infantry equipment up to date, the artillery up to date, that kind of stuff. Intervention in Europe, that means War Plan Black is next. Poland refuses German ultimatum. Well, maybe not by the time war were declared, but close enough. As for focuses at this point, you've pretty much done everything you're going to be doing. Could grab military construction here. I actually just noticed I completely missed this. But you want to hit military construction and Usace Projects right after the giant wakes. I completely missed this, so I'll do them now. Anyway, Officer Corps doctrines. Let's also grab superior firepower right. We'll go down there to the right side when we can do it. We're also going to make bold attacks a thing, and we're gonna get Spirit of Division Command, Smoke and Fire. I do love me some Breakthrough, though Flexible Organization, not bad either, but Breakthrough is pretty yummy. And now we wait for world tension to be high enough for us to come save the world. Oh, there goes Poland. And one thing, again, that I did forget to research is landing craft. Oh, it's not too far ahead of time. Now's a nice time, 163 days. Naval invasions are your bread and butter as America. The more invasions you can pull off, the better. January 1940, still can't get stuck in, but I got a full army group of 120, is that 120? Math. I said math, not my thing. 120 divisions there. Got 8 armor divisions ready to rock and roll, 13 Marines with more on the way. Oh, there goes Denmark. There goes Norway. Soon, gentlemen, soon. And we'll get better medium tanks as well. We've just gotten the improved ones. Christie suspension for speed. 3-man turret. Again, medium howitzer, best radio I have. We'll grab easy maintenance and then we'll slam in some heavy machine guns. Jack the speed up, get a little bit of armor in there. Don't want to slow them down too much. I like faster tanks than this, but it'll do. Whenever Mexico decides to be annoying, you could go to war with them. There's really no point in doing so. I usually just embargo and then it'll come crawling back eventually. Anyway, we're approaching 100%. Luxembourg's down. The Dutch are gonna go down anytime now. And they'll declare on Belgium, and that should be the trigger for us. At this point, just research whatever you want. You've got the building blocks. There we go. They've declared war in Belgium. That's it. We're going to ask to join the faction, but we're not going to join the war yet. We actually want to get our troops here first, because if we join the war, we open up ourselves to a whole lot of convoy raiding. So we'll move our troops in here first. Of course, we'll move all of our airframes over there as well. We'll also move the entire Navy in. Realistically, we don't need to leave anything behind to deal with Japan. We'll most likely be extremely fine before Japan even shows up. So the Marines can start planning the naval invasions immediately, and we'll bring the reserve Marines in as well. Fun things to do are establishing the Greenland Patrol. You basically steal Greenland off Denmark and they don't get any say in it. It's pretty funny. And the French have capped. Alright, the Navy is now out projecting power, 2 massive strike forces, 4 carriers each. The direct area along the European coast and surrounding Britain, of course. I have my destroyers in 4, could make it 5 task forces patrolling the supply lines all the way back home and hopefully fending off the German submarines. And then I have my spotting cruisers out and about trying to find the British. Wait, no, the Germans. So we used to fighting the British. And in the spirit of cleaning this up quickly, April 1940. Are you ready for D-Day, boys? Let's see, this is gonna take another 22 days. If the first invasion fails, that's fine. We'll hit them again with more Marines. But this should work out. We're gonna hit them here. We're gonna join the war, and it's going to be glorious. The air is also up, projecting all the power I can. We're doing as much damage as we can to their forces. All right, so Cherbourg is defended, and as you can see, it doesn't matter. Cullen leading the way, Vitae Drinker in the rear. Coast is guarded, and it doesn't matter. This is going to get Cherbourg surrounded. There we go. And we have total air dominance as well. They're not really contesting us because apparently they're busy fighting elsewhere. There we go. We have actually landed. The Marines can take point. We're winning the air war. We're doing massive amounts of cast damage. Hey, Mexico, welcome aboard. We're also sinking a bunch of their submarines because of course we are. All right, we've taken Le Havre. That should be enough supply to make it work. Bring in the army. Look at my magnificent tanks! Look at those beautiful snouts! All right, the Marines can halt their offensive. The armor is gonna push into Brest. Secure that. I've also found the German fleet. Good night, sweet prince. The liberation of Paris already. I keep forgetting, but that makes the front lines all wonky in that it annexes Vichy France instantly. Now this is how we should and could have won the war. Just to immediately commit the entirety of the US's industry to war from the day the game starts. 1936. And all Roosevelt should have been doing was building military factories for a war he didn't even know was coming. So far, 17,000 losses, and we've inflicted a hell of a lot more. So we'll try and armor rush up through the Low Countries, extend the front, make Germany sweat some more. As far as Italy's concerned, really no true benefit to be gained from knocking the Italians out. There's always a benefit to be gained from knocking them out. Satisfaction. So we're going to set up naval invasions to deal with those. These fine gentlemen will make that happen. Italy didn't want to be naval invaded. They shouldn't exist this close to water. That's my take on it. Yay, a smaller version of the Falaise pocket. Romania joined the Axis. I'm not sure if that's a game-winning move for you, Romania. Yep, that's it for Italy, I guess. Let's head to Livorno. Seize as many ports as we can as quickly as possible. And there goes Rome. Huzzah! We've already punched a hole right through the German lines. I doubt there's even German lines left. Oh god, they're down to 150 divisions. They never really had a chance to ramp up. We hit them too hard. Marines have seized Naples. We have the opportunity to do the funniest thing possible. We can get from Dortmund to Wiesbaden, Frankfurt, Karlsruhe, and then to the Swiss border. We have the remaining strength of the German army encircled. If we can pull it off, Italy's done for. The Marines have cleaned up Italy. Vitae Drinker, you were first on the beaches at Anzio. Congratulations. Get a Distinguished Service Cross. We've seized Milan. We're going to seize Venice as well. Then it's probably a slight push on Reggio Calabria and Messina. That should see Italy out. And the German army has just got him. Falaise pocket my ass. This is so much better. Make the crossing. Get these troops into Messina. There goes Benito. Bye-bye, Benito. And we get the Italian puppet. They can have the territory. I don't want to deal with it. If I were a betting man, I would not be putting too much money on the Axis at this point. Oh, they're gonna take so many casualties here. That one fight was 168,000 men. Kingdom of Hungary joins the Germans. Horthy, are you stupid? Are you watching this? Next step, Berlin, and then this is over. Who gets to seize Berlin, though? Ambatukam? You can race fence panel for it. We'll see who gets there first. I think fence panel might have the advantage. Org is low, so if he runs into something... Come on, Ambatukam. I know you can do it. No, you're being delayed. It does look like fence panel is going to win the race to Berlin. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a third... Oh, no. Ambatukam coming in. No, too little, too late, gentlemen. Fence panel has seized Berlin. Congratulations. Congratulations. You get to get Distinguished Service Cross as well, sir. Well played, well played. It was close there for a minute, but Ambatukam just delayed too much. All right, we'll use the Marines since they're in the area here anyway to take out the idiots in Budapest and Bucharest. And while we're at it, might as well head to Sofia as well. War's almost over, might as well build the Pentagon. I forgot to execute War Plan Black. 10% attack bonus against Germany. God. Well, might as well. And winning kill will seize Budapest. Well done, winning kill. You, for that... Oh, you also took Taranto. For that honor, I would give you a Distinguished Service Cross, but unfortunately no political power. So, through the vagaries of bureaucracy, your valiant efforts go unrewarded. There goes Hungary. Ooh, suggestive of you, Hungary. And with that, Germany falls, and now we can shape Europe in our image. Let's quickly get this over with. We're gonna make this nice and clean. We're gonna aim for the historical borders, and we don't have to share with the Soviets this time. And as is tradition, we end up with a horribly disgusting peace deal. American Italy, Blue Bulgaria, American Albania, Transylvania split off from Romania and Hungary, which is now also American Czechoslovakia, nice thick Poland, and then we have the American occupation zone, And then, of course, the Allies fucked me over by creating the German Republic. And the UK just really wanted the state of Mecklenburg, not Hanover, which I could see a historical claim to if I'm stretch it back far enough. They didn't give a shit about Hanover. Somehow they really wanted Mecklenburg. Time to bring everybody home and slap Japan around. Roosevelt versus Wilkie. Oh, we're gonna give Roosevelt another term, aren't we? This man can't stop winning. He needs to keep winning. Boom. Well, at this point, I could wait for Japan to go to war with me, but, you know, why would I? They are guaranteed by... Really, the German Republic. Really, that would be a funny that we can pull here. I could just clean up matters in Germany once and for all if we do that. Well, considering I don't want to wait until December and get Pearl Harbored, we might as well just speed things along. We're going to justify a war goal on Japan. We will save China. We'll get the double whammy out of it because I'm moving my army, main army, back to Germany to consume. It's so stupid that they still have that guarantee of independence up there. Marines are ready. I'll follow up with some armor afterwards to really drive the point home. The Navy is deployed in full force, and Japan is going to take a massive beating. Britain wants the US to go to Iraq. A little soon for an Iraqi war, but might as well. We have our war goal on Japan. We're just going to declare war. If you're not as quickly as me in winning in Germany, that's fine. By the time it looks likely that Japan's going to come for you, think mid-41. Just make sure you garrison your islands in the region and you put an army on the Philippines to garrison it and bring your fleet home. By this time, you should have at least no more need for a fleet in the west. Just bring that one over here. Guard the area around the Philippines. The way I do it is set a strike force with these two fleets in the direct sea zones around the Philippines as well as Guam, and then use my spotting cruisers in those same sea zones to find the Japanese fleet so I can strike it down. And the destroyers that we then use to protect our sea zones will do basically the same thing to protect the sea lanes heading to the Philippines so we can stage our troops there. So it's just garrison the Philippines, set your fleet to protect it, garrison Guam if you're on the defensive, Guam and Wake, and then just prepare to strike back as soon as you finish up in Europe. Naval invasion should be underway soon. Friendly supremacy is because of low enemy intel. So if you have low intel, there are a couple of things you can do. First is if you have La Resistance, get an intelligence agency. Haven't invested in it because it doesn't really seem interesting. If you don't have that, what you could do is put airplanes up. Let's see, where is an airfield? I'll probably have to build an airfield here because Philippines don't start with one. I'll build one in Luzon. I put some long-range aircraft up there so they can go out there and find the enemy. The problem here is, as you can see, naval supremacy is scaled to 50% because of low enemy intel. Raw numbers alone, we should have all the supremacy we need. Unfortunately, right now we don't, but as we engage with their fleet, we're going to whittle it down anyway, and we are going to get intel from the engagements from fighting their fleets, from scanning and looking around, basically. There we go. We've caught up in intel because our naval contacts have done their job. An easy way to speed that up is, of course, getting air up as well. No need for it, apparently, so this is going to work out. The Marines will storm the beaches around Nagasaki. I promise not to nuke them. It will be bad form. MacArthur, no tactical use of nuclear weapons. And we'll start taking apart the Japanese fleet. That's... that's a blow. 30 destroyers gone. Anyway, the Marines are making landfall. They've taken some damage from enemy submarines, but it is what it is. It's not a massive deal. Should be able to still make this work. We've seized Nagasaki. Let's get the armor in. Time to click the button I just unlocked, or is it War Plan Orange? That's the end of Japan. Oh no, the Japanese strike fleet has found my sub-hunting destroyers. That is bad for Bitcoin. Now, if by some miracle Japan has completely lost in China and they don't control anything on the mainland, you might have a hard time because their entire military is going to be deployed at home. On the flip side, though, that means they've lost a war so badly that it's unlikely that they will have a very strong home force left anyway. So either way, Japan is fairly easy, and until they give it the same treatment the UK has, where it can spawn home guard divisions to stop or slow down naval invasions, Japan will remain a pushover. Anyway, I got the armor in, so Marines and armor making Operation Downfall happen. Iraq might actually last longer than Japan. I gotta check that. Time for another trip to Mosul. Every time I almost feel bad for the Japanese when you do land. It's just that there's nothing there. In theory, this should be a battle for the ages because of how built up Japanese defense was. Yes, they were on their last legs, but there were potentially a lot of very fanatical troops willing to fight to the death with small arms if they had to, which is going to be difficult to dislodge from an area as mountainous and inhospitable as many parts of Japan in this time. Unfortunately for them, though, my tanks don't give a shit and they keep going, and there goes the fall of Tokyo. And now we can finally fix our mistake of having two Germanys. We'll just condense it into a single Germany, and we will puppet Japan. And all will be well with the world. And there you have it. We have a beautiful American Japan. They will learn the ways of anime and like it. We have a fairly disgusting China because there's now a very big communist China. Fun fact, when the Soviet Union invaded Manchuria at the end of World War II, and then subsequently left after World War II, they handed all of this along with massive amounts of equipment to the communists, which is why Mao's forces were able to make such a strong comeback. Well, that combined with the sheer incompetence on this man's side. But we have done, oh my god, we've sunk so much. We have done our duty and made Japan a better place, and they get to keep some of their navy because I like having toys to play with. Over here we now have one strong American occupation zone under Erich Guterres, and the Brits just really like Mecklenburg, I guess. Anyway, with that, April 1941, we're done. We have brought peace and prosperity to the world. Democracy and capitalism reign. Franklin Delano Roosevelt has taught them all the ways of peace through violence. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something about playing as the United States, and I am looking forward to returning to this if they ever get an update, because my god, America the Beautiful, 181 civs without ever having built a single one, and 219 mils having given up on building some halfway through the game. Yeah, this is insane. And I love it. I love America. Anyway, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.